The Safe Family Justice Centers is designed to serve victims of domestic violence, child abuse, elder abuse, human trafficking, and sexual assault. We also serve youth at risk, pretty much any child that would come into an environment that puts them at risk of being a victim or an offender. We really want to target those youth and make sure that they have the network of support that they need in order to be successful.
We came to SAFE with our mom who struggled with domestic violence.
When I was 10, my mom met a guy and she hasn't had dated for 10 years since my dad had passed away. When we met him, he was super nice to us. He would do stuff for us, buy us stuff or take us places. It was kind of our first ever father figure. We didn't really see the amount of abuse that was happening to our mom.
And I think he used that to hide what he was doing. I remember after one time he broke the window down, and then that was the first time I realized that it wasn't really a healthy relationship. He kind of tried to play the victim and manipulate us. When we were in the garage, he came out and he said, "It's okay, guys. I didn't do nothing wrong. Nothing happened. Okay." When people are in domestic relationships, they get comfortable and they don't want to let go of the person. So my mom kind of went back to him. He started how it was at first. He didn't really do nothing. And he was just buying us whatever we wanted again, taking us out to eat, taking us to the movies. And then he took us to Raging Waters. I didn't see him with his shirt off for a while. I seen his back and it was all scarred up from the glass. And then it brought me back to that moment. I got mad.
She didn't want him to do all the crazy things that he did, but she didn't know how to leave him without him coming back and doing things.
Safe Family Justice Centers runs the Riverside County Police Activities League, which is a collective of local law enforcement officers who donate their time to provide a group-based structured environment for youth who may be impacted by domestic violence or child abuse or just really having a hard time at school.
I think the first time where we came, we painted. I remember me and my sister, it was a different environment. So me and her were happy. We didn't even think about what was happening.
I was not hesitant because I like trying new things, but when I joined and the first time I ever went there, it was everyone felt so safe to talk to. And then when we were doing activities, just having fun, no worries.
And then I was why are you guys here? And then everyone kind of had the same story, a situation like ours. So we realized we're not the only ones that were going through it. We had people to talk to.
A role model that stood out to me was Officer Jack. I just feel he's really a good person and he wants to be here. He doesn't just work here, he wants to be here. And it makes me feel happy every time I see him.
When I first came into PAL, Marshall was there. I didn't really know anyone, so he popped up out of nowhere. He usually does every time. Just pops up behind you. When I'm not doing so good in certain times of the day, so when we went on those trips, he would redirect me, giving me good advice all the time, or taking my side on things, people wouldn't usually take my side.
To me, PAL means friendship, safety, fun, a special moment. It's never boring.
It's made me a better person and taught me how to be friendly to people. The first ever trip that we went on was Washington, D.C. Me and my sister, I don't think we ever went on an airplane, so we were scared and nervous the whole time. There was a bunch of classes, for leadership and different kinds of things.
In 2025, we started Camp Hope Riverside County, which is the first evidence-based camp for kids who've experienced things like domestic violence, child abuse, designed specifically for those kids. That's curriculum-based and really provides structure to a week-long experience. It's 5 days.
I went to my cabin. I was so happy with the people that I met in there and got to have girl moments with and talk about whatever we wanted. Kids my age are really immature, but they weren't. They knew about what was going on with their situation and they knew big words with big meanings. When they would share what happened to them in our cabin, that's what we would talk about at night. You went through that to see how strong they were still. It just made me feel I could be as strong as they can.
It was not only fun, But like within our cabins, we all became brothers. There was this kid in there, and he was like sad on the last day, and we all came and hugged him and said that we love him.
The first year we were able to send 33 kids to camp. It was unexpected. We had about 90 kids on the wait list the first year, and this next year we're looking to send double the number of kids to camp.
I think what SAFE did for my mom is a safe place for me and my brother to go without her having to worry like if kids are gonna be mean or like worry about literally anything. Like she always knew that we were gonna be safe.
I feel like it made her like stronger. She never used to like speak up for herself or like, because she was always trying to make us happy instead of herself. When people are going through these situations, the family becomes distant with each other, and SAFE kind of steps in and brings them back together.
When she started attending the things she did at SAFE, like it really uplifted her in a happy way, and every time she comes home from wherever they went, she always like has pictures or something to bring, and she's like, it makes me feel like she's talking like a kid, like she's happy and excited to tell me stuff.
My name is Chalise, and I'm a domestic violence survivor and a client here at SAFE. I was tired of being used as a front. You know, you had like the house, the picket fence, the wife, the younger wife. It was a facade that nobody knew about, or if they knew about it, they didn't want to acknowledge it. Well, I didn't know it was domestic violence. I didn't know. I just thought he was angry at the moment. Well, those moments increased, and it was just unbearable. He knew me more than I knew him. So he would know how to do things too. Because someone said to me, well, did you ever have any good times? Of course. That's what keeps you. He knew what to say, to do, to keep it smooth. If I can't continue to allow things, the manipulation to continue, that I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I knew that was coming. And it was so difficult to go around family. I do believe that they knew, but nobody said anything. And then when I said something, I was told it was my fault. So what do you do then? So I got frozen. I froze. I thought I was gonna die. I mean, I really didn't think he was gonna allow me to live. When someone says they're going to kill you, it's like the world stopped. I've never seen that part of him in his eyes. He said that, and I still believe to this day that it's possible, because I'm healing. That doesn't mean that he's healing. For so long I didn't feel seen, and that's why I kept it to myself, the things that were happening. And then when I was told it was my fault, no, it's not. I started to speak up. You don't do that. You don't speak up. I knew that I was in an unsafe environment. I had a house, but not a home. My mother had transitioned, so that left me with no family members here at all. Just myself, my son, and my husband. My husband's job was eliminated, so we needed to get assistance from the county. And I got a referral from my county worker to contact you guys. After I told her in secret that I needed to get some assistance because I wanted to leave my husband. And I shared with her some things that happened, and she said, okay, you know, give this organization a call. And I did that, came in and did the screening, disclosed some information, and let them know that my goal was to go home. And home for me was New York.
For a survivor to be able to access immediate safety services and they decide in that moment they're ready to leave, it's important in that moment we're ready to respond.
So we left, eventually we left the state. Unfortunately, the world shut down shortly after we arrived with COVID. What I thought was gonna work for me and my son at home, it did not work for me at all. So here I was escaping 15 years at that point of domestic violence to find out that I had no foundation. I got a phone call saying that my husband was like gravely ill. They thought it was terminal cancer. I felt guilty that if my son's father dies, he will never forgive me. And so I made a decision to return to California, for my son to be with his father, not for us to be in a relationship. It's the most difficult job ever to co-parent with your abuser. I don't think the world understands. Every time I come to SAFE or call SAFE or email, I've gotten a response that allowed me to know that I'm still a valuable person, that I have integrity.
We've partnered up with Hoofbeats for Hope to provide retreats to our Restoring Strength participants so that they can experience equestrian services in a group of survivors who've also experienced similar things.
I need to be around women who I could feel it. And then met with Diana. I think it was regarding the divorce papers. And I said, Diana, can I ask you a question? She said, sure. I said, is there any DV support groups for women? And I said, well, now I really need it for myself. And she said, oh, yeah, we do. And I said, oh, you do? And she said, yeah. And she said, I'll email you when the next retreat is coming up. I had no idea it included horses. I was just so excited to be around women that you could just walk in the room. You don't have to say a word. Just our energy and our eyes would speak for us. And SAFE, and oh my gosh, Nicole was amazing. My horse Finch was amazing. I have this picture in my room because he walked right to me. That was an amazing experience. Just to be a part of, be around women who also have walked the same walk as I did. And then to have a horse, it was like, this is, okay. Like I couldn't imagine coming here to SAFE and being turned away. Because every time I come, it's a great need. And I always leave with what I require to accomplish that need. So as a survivor, if we have one less thing, one less issue, one less something that we have to take care of, you have no idea. It's like breath to my body. It's peace to my soul that I haven't had in a long time. And I think people take that for granted. I can't imagine not having SAFE. That's how impactful it's been for me.
Oftentimes, when there's a need, we rely on the community to help fill that need. So while SAFE is there as the conduit for that, it relies on the community to donate things like hygiene supplies or a gas card or a sleeping bag for a kid at camp. When the community comes together, that's how we're able to serve survivors and serve them well and serve them with integrity and empathy. And so the community support that we receive goes directly back into the survivors and children that we serve.
I think it's important to support SAFE because it gives a lot of people opportunities to a new life and a new chapter.
Please continue to support SAFE. And if this is your first time, just know that this is a gift of a life and for lives. It's not you write a check or your donation and it's just, okay, that's it. This is endless. This is live. This is life-saving donations. And I'm a witness to it.